Hey guys, we're here with potentially the hottest car at the moment, the Tesla Model 3. This is the 75 kilowatt long range version. As you can see, it's got a pretty cool matte blue wrap on it, and the reason for that is because it's not a press car, it's not my car. I got it through Turo. Turo hooked us up with the car, forewarning. But yeah, it's one of the only ways that we were able to get a Tesla Model 3 in such good time, so
yeah.
It worked out.
And we had to get a Tesla Model 3. This is like the most hyped up car of the last like 10 years probably, right?
Exactly. So,
and so we were here to find out if it actually lives up to the hype. So Sam, lead the way.
Yeah, so I've been driving it for a couple days and I think it does live up to the hype. As you can see, this model here has the aero wheels on, which they look a bit funny, but hey, anything for efficiency. You get some extra range out of it.
Which is what you said.
Yeah. And some other interesting parts of the exterior here. You can see some of the cameras here for the autopilot and the eventual full self-driving that we're told will come. There's one here, if you want to come over here, Brett. There's one right up here on the B pillar as well. The whole roof is kind of like a moon roof. It's not a sunroof, it doesn't retract or open or anything like that, but it's pretty nice. It lets light into the cabin. Looks pretty cool. All right, so we're inside the interior of the Tesla Model 3. This is the black leather interior, as you can see. I think they're starting to deliver some of the white interior cars now. Anyways, I'll show you kind of the centerpiece of the car, the touchscreen. Looks a lot like an iPad and is equally as responsive as one too. I love the maps. If other automakers could find a way to make maps this responsive to touch inputs, I'd be so happy about that. But anyways, you tap the little car icon here and it pulls up a bunch of different menu options. Got the exterior lights. I'm leaving them on auto. You can adjust the mirrors, and to adjust the mirrors, it toggles it to the wheels, these little toggle wheels on the steering wheel. So I'm currently adjusting the left side mirror by rolling this wheel up and down, and then the steering wheel adjusts the same way. You can see it kind of moving there when I do this, and I thought that was pretty funny. It's a different way of doing things. It's pretty cool. You got your window locks, glove box, which I'm not going to open or else it will fall into Brett's knees. And yeah, so everything, the locks, you can adjust the display brightness. There's a night mode, turns it black for when you're driving around at night, because this would be very bright and very intrusive if you were driving around at night. 2 acceleration modes, chill and standard for saving the battery, and chill mode. 3 steering modes, comfort, standard, and sport. Sport makes it heavy, comfort makes it light, obviously. 2 regenerative braking modes, standard and low. You can turn creep on and off. Creep is basically, it kind of mimics how a car would idle. So electronic cars don't really have to do that, but it's sort of unintuitive if you don't. These are your autopilot settings. You can adjust the cruise follow distance. There's a few different modes there. And auto steer, which kind of funny, can bring up the, you have to agree to it because it's still in beta. Yes, and sign your life away, quite literally. Auto lane change as well. Safety and security, basically for the parking brake and power off. And then various service things. There's a tow mode that probably, I think it disconnects the motor for when you're towing. So yeah, that's basically everything in there. Then you got music, Slacker radio, and normal FM radio. You can connect your phone, heated seats for both driver and passenger, climate control, the volume. The volume is a little weird because you have to touch a really tiny area. It's one of my only complaints about the car actually right now, is that you have to touch a really tiny area for the volume, but you can also adjust it through the steering wheel, as you can see that I'm doing now. So you don't always have to use it on the touchscreen. And then obviously your window defrosters. So yeah, that's basically how the touchscreen works and everything that you can adjust with it. Oh yeah, I'll show you guys the range modes. It gives you kind of a visualization of how much juice you got left in the battery. You can schedule charging, you can see paid supercharging. And then that's the backup camera, which is very, very high quality. It's really big, and I'm really impressed by the backup camera too. And yeah, so there you have it. There's the Tesla Model 3 operation of the touchscreen. There's some other cool things in here. This cubby down here is really, really large. Can fit a ton of stuff. We had some fast food in it earlier. There's these two sort of phone docks here, which are kind of nice, and you can plug your phone in, just like so. What's interesting is they're not permanent. If you lift it up, there's sort of two wires down here and two USB plugs. You can unplug them and remove them if you wanted to take them with you. These are actuated by magnets, and you don't want to slam them. I was slamming them earlier and they weren't closing, but if you're nice and friendly to them, then they close nice and easily. You've got a little more storage here. This is the charging adapter for non-Tesla plugs. You can lift up this little cubby here. There's more things down here. And yeah, up here there's a little sunshade with dual lights for the mirror. This thing's kind of flimsy and odd, but do what you will, Tesla. And yeah, there you have it, the interior of the Tesla Model 3.
So we're gonna drive it now.
Yep.
This is the key, and I suppose you can just keep it in your wallet.
Yeah, and if you didn't have the key, then you would typically use your Tesla account and sync the car to your phone.
Okay.
But because this isn't our car, we haven't sunk our Tesla account to it, so you don't get the passive entry and go. With,
Gotcha.
But so we have to use the hotel room card.
Okay, so like, how do you even turn it on?
Well, tap the brake.
Just once?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's on?
Yeah, it's
on.
on.
And then it says tap the key
it.
card to allow driving.
Yep.
Okay.
So now you're good to go.
Does this go anywhere?
Wherever
just
you want
leave
it to.
There?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, the wipers are going nuts.
You have the wipers on.
How, how do you even turn off the wipers?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
It's on the screen. Everything.
So everything is through the screen. Okay. Yeah. So I've never driven a Tesla before, ever, so I'm pretty excited.
And my first time was yesterday in this one.
Okay, so it has one of these Mercedes, like, driver or gear selector stocks.
Yeah.
So I guess...
Yep. And now you're in D, and you're good to go.
All right, let's...
Silent driving. Here we come.
It's so quiet. I mean, like, I've driven electric cars before, but nothing that was perhaps, like, this advanced.
It's really refined. I admit to being skeptical of the Model 3.
I think we were all, like, very skeptical.
And I drove it, and I kind of almost saw the Tesla light.
I mean, it's hard not to. Like, it's really easy to be skeptical when you haven't driven it, but even now, it's been like 30 seconds. I'm like, wow, this is pretty good.
It's very impressive.
I'm surprised by how solid everything feels.
There's another one.
Oh yeah, look at that.
We're driving by another Model 3 right now.
And we're seeing them everywhere, which is a big surprise because all we've been hearing about is like production issues. So I'm actually really surprised to see them as often as I do.
They're coming out slowly but surely.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
It's impressive too when you consider that this is the rear-wheel drive, the single motor.
So this isn't like the performance.
No, that's just.
Oh my god.
That's the.
That's so fast.
It's really fast.
And it's weird because like you really feel it like in your gut.
Yeah.
Like that's not even like sports car acceleration. This is like other level.
Yeah, and that's the acceleration
that's just normal.
Yeah, the 35K one that we haven't seen yet. That's what they'll have because it's the exact same in almost every way.
Wow.
We do have the long range battery though, which is 500 kilometers.
Okay. And so far you haven't even had to charge it yet, right?
No, I've used about 100 kilometers of range. And it seems to be fairly accurate. It's not draining the battery faster than I'm racking up the kilometers.
Right. So like you haven't been scared of like running out or anything.
It's been
stuck.
Draining a little bit quicker, but that's because we've been doing accelerations like that.
All the time.
Yeah.
That is so addictive. Like that is legit faster than like any sports car. Maybe not faster than any sports car, but it feels faster maybe. Because to me, in my mind, there's like a really weird disconnect between the physical sensation of speed, but then everything else is cut out. So in a sports car, if you're going that fast, you're like shaking and like the wheels are squealing and like you just feel, it's like, I guess a little bit more visceral.
Yeah.
And this just seems a little bit more disconnected, which is like
it's
jarring, but very cool.
Exactly. It's almost eerie to have the speed just kind of happen to you. There's no forewarning, there's no noise, there's no build up.
There's no build up.
It just sort of
it's
happens to you, and it's like this all-encompassing experience when you really hit it.
That's fantastic. I mean, like, this is a great powertrain. Like, as skeptical as we are as journalists, like, this, you can't deny that this is a fantastic powertrain.
It's really, really good. It's really impressive.
And I mean, even just driving it, it feels like something different. Like, it doesn't feel like anything else on the market right now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and I showed it to my family last night, and they all really liked it, and they really just liked it because it's refreshing to see an automaker do a lot of things different. Like, even as something as this dashboard-wide vent up here that actually has really great air conditioning. And
I mean, even this, like, open pore wood is really nice.
Yeah, it feels like you're in an IKEA or something.
Yeah. I'm really happy with how the steering feels, too. Like, it feels good.
Yeah, for an electronic rack, it's really, really nice.
Yeah, like, it's nice and heavy. Like, I'm used to electric cars just feeling kind of, like, loosey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so over speed bumps and over bumps and things like that, I've noticed that the damping is really, really good. Not too much wind noise either. Yeah,
the whole thing is super quiet, and I'm really impressed that nothing rattles or anything. Like, everything's really solid.
Yeah, and for a new automaker, it is pretty good. I mean, they've gotten a lot of flack for manufacturing and build quality and things like that, but this example at least, not much squeaks or rattles, which is more than you can say about, I don't know, a Maserati.
Yeah, Maseratis are pretty garbage. And I know people are going to hate me for saying that, but it is true. But they did get a lot of flack. I mean, I've seen other Model 3s where, like even Jason, who bought a Model 3. Jason is our news writer who lives in California. He just got his Model 3, and he immediately had to send it back for all sorts of little issues, like nothing like deal breaking, but little things here and there. Like there were some trim bits that were bumpy or like not sewn in properly. And I've seen other Model 3s with kind of wonky panel gaps as well, and this one is fine. Like, it's totally fine.
This one is really solid, yeah. I talked to the owner. He hasn't had to bring it in for any kind of servicing or any to fix any small issues like that at all. So this one's been pretty good, he said.
I'm really enjoying this drive, even though we haven't gone like fast at all. I actually am really impressed by how solid everything is.
It's really fun to drive.
Fast, like it is so fast. I can't get over how it, like, that feeling is like nothing I've felt before driving any of the cars I've driven, you know?
Yeah. And this isn't even the performance version, so I'll be really blown away, I imagine, if I ever do get behind the wheel of a performance Tesla.
Yeah, like if you get one with the ludicrous mode or whatever, I can't, like, my mind will just be scrambled. I can't even fathom what that will feel like.
I imagine it's uncomfortably fast.
Yeah, like that's like organ rearranging kind of stuff.
And it feels really fast when you're in the passenger seat of this car, because you don't hear any noise, you don't hear anything, and then it just sort of comes on like this wave.
Yeah, like, and if you closed your eyes and just felt that sensation of like just pure acceleration, I feel like your body would just be really confused. Like, am I being launched into space?
Yeah. I had a friend describe it as being really similar to a roller coaster, actually, because a lot of roller coasters, they'll accelerate using the magnets.
Right.
And they don't make any noise, really. It just sort of accelerates.
Right.
And it's sort of, you feel it in the pit of your stomach. And that's exactly how the acceleration of this feels.
It is kind of like a roller coaster, except even with a roller coaster, you feel like the rails or like the chug, 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 right?
Yeah.
This, you just feel nothing.
It's so smooth.
It is super smooth, but it's also kind of jarring, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. But it's so fun, so I think it's easy to get used to.
So we've switched drivers now. I've had the car since yesterday, so I've driven it a little bit more, so I'll give you kind of my driving impressions. Just going to check into my hotel here.
That's so weird. Yeah, like, I like it, but it's very strange. That will take some getting used to for sure.
It's different. People like it as a gimmick, I've noticed, when I've shown people that didn't know that it had that.
Because you show your friends, you're like, hey, watch this.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, whoa. And they're like, where's the key for it? I want to see the key. And I handed them that. And they're like, no way.
Check this out, bro.
Yeah, they loved it. I like pulled it out of my wallet. Tesla's good at having a gimmick.
Yeah.
And the gimmicks are sort of what help them sell cars, I think, and are what help drive the hype around the company.
So I know we were both kind of skeptical of Tesla. So what was the thing that impressed you or surprised you the most after you picked it up?
Yeah. So the thing that impressed me the most was definitely the acceleration and the fact that this is just the normal version with the long range battery, but with the regular motor, not the dual motor or anything like that. And the acceleration, which I'm about to do right now.
It's such a weird feeling.
Really blew me away.
Like, that never gets old for me. Like, it still just gives me the giggles.
Yeah. So that was the thing I think that impressed me the most.
Wait, that was in chill mode?
Yeah, that was actually just in chill mode.
And that was still ridiculously fast.
Yeah, I just had to change it. And yeah, so that was the chill one. I put it on.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the thing that I think that impressed me the most. I was really surprised by the build quality and how quiet it was in regards to wind and road noise.
Right.
It's really good in those regards too, but by far it was the acceleration that impressed me the most. I mean,
I mean, like, as a true car guy, if anything's fast, you're gonna like it, right? So
yeah,
it's hard not to like this.
That's the other thing with Tesla. It's so good.
That never gets old. I know. If I had a Tesla, I would just do that all day.
Mm-hmm. And as car people, you like performance, or at least most of us do. And you have to hand it to Tesla if they care about performance.
Yeah.
It would be very easy for them to be an electric automaker that only cared about making kind of like boring pods and that are just
well, let's think of like the Prius or something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Tesla cares about performance. They want to make their cars fast. They want to make them fun to drive.
But also like desirable. Like, I feel like by making it look like this and making it perform that way, they've created this like, oh, well, I'm not a green person. I just want this status symbol.
Yeah, exactly. And I would even say that a lot of customers would buy this car just because, like, I want that performance. They would drive it. Like, I might not care about saving the environment,
right,
or anything like that.
I just want to go fast.
I want to do this
every time. That just gives me the giggles. That's so fun.
So
did anything disappoint you about the Model 3?
That's a good question. I want to say that it's a bit too bare bones in here. I might like some more kind of creature comforts or some more features. I don't like really having to go into this for everything.
Right.
And call me old school, I would like kind of a traditional speedometer of some sort, front and center.
It is kind of weird to have it on this big screen.
Even if it was digital, I think a heads-up display would be awesome.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder why they didn't do that.
Yeah, so I think there are some features that, let's say, you could get on a BMW 3 Series that this could work into, and it's early in its life cycle, and I know they're trying to keep everything simple right now.
Yeah.
I think maybe we will see features like that come down the line.
It was just going back to what you said about having to do everything through this touchscreen. So earlier we were trying to open the glove box, and Sam was like trying to find the menu for it, but it's actually like easier than what we thought, because we were looking for it in a menu, but it's actually like right there.
It's actually right here on the quick controls. I just opened it.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, I guess it takes some getting used to, as opposed to, you know, they've complicated the act of opening your glove box.
Right. And that's with everything, like opening the door is like that. Like, to open the door from in here, I push this little button, but they also have this like emergency handle that you could also use, I guess, if like the electronics fail or something like that.
Right. And you're not supposed to use the emergency release every single time, it said.
Yeah, it like warns you against it, because it could damage the window or something.
Yeah, it wants you to use the electronic release. That's for the things that I guess disappointed me. I think I'm maybe in the minority here. I'm not big on the way it looks. It's a bit bulbous.
Yeah, I don't love it.
It's not as sleek as it could be, but the plus side to that is that there's lots of headroom. It's easy to see out of. I have mostly good things to say about the car. There wasn't too much that I found let me down. One critique I have is the steering wheel is pretty ugly. I like how small and chunky it is, but I'm not big on the design. But that's totally just my opinion. I think it could maybe use some like red stitching. That's the other thing is in here could maybe use some sprucing up a bit. It's a bit too appliancy.
I mean, I
wouldn't mind like a red seatbelt.
It's nice, but it's not like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with you that they could have made it a bit more cheeky inside.
Yeah.
It is smart though. Like, it is a very well designed cabin. Like, I love these storage bins. They're huge because there's no transmission tunnel. This is all just like empty storage space, which is amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, it's a great car. I wouldn't fault anyone for buying it. I think it'll be interesting to see how they fare with all their production issues, and if they can get everyone their cars on time.
Right.
After driving it, I'll say this: I really hope that they can, because these people that spent the money and to reserve the car, and they're excited to get the car, they're absolutely justified in being excited about having this car, because it's innovative, it's really forward-thinking, pushes the envelope, and I think all those things are important in the automotive industry. And I have to applaud Tesla for kind of breaking the mold and forcing maybe a company like Mercedes-Benz or Audi to build an electric car and maybe kind of think outside the box more. Don't keep doing the same things over and over again.
Yeah, just because that's what you're used to.
Exactly.
Yeah, I kind of applaud Grimes' boyfriend, as crazy as he is, and as not nice as he is towards the media. Like, I can really understand what he's going for, and this is a huge achievement. Like, just having a car this good is a massive achievement for Tesla, and I hope they can sort out all that other production stuff, because if they can reliably produce cars in like not a tent, I think it's extremely disruptive, and I think the car industry needs that.
It does need a bit of disruption. There's too many there's too much of the same going on.
Yeah. Like, this feels like nothing else that's available right now. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really unique. And it's fast.
We like fast.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching the Tesla Model 3 kind of first drive and brief review. Hope you liked it. And if you have any more questions about the car, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments. We'll try to answer them. And thanks.
Thanks, guys. Bye.